When my eyes opened up at first, I just thought it was a dream. I was thinking, oh, good, it's over with. I thought I was waking up, and my vision didn't clear completely yet, and I started hearing beeping and looking around the room, and I realized that, you know, it was real. I ran everybody out of the room. It freaked me out really bad. That still bothers me to this day, thinking about that moment that I woke up.
Victor was injured because a large corporation did not want to spend the money to do things the safe way. They decided to save a few bucks and cut a few corners, and that's why Victor was hurt.
The dresser sleeve down there by me that was holding the pipes on to my shakers and everything wasn't rated for as much as the pounds of pressure that we had coming across it. And it blew off the back of it. The mud that we were using was diesel based, so it was basically just a giant fuel source that ignited and the whole pit system went up in flames. And I was in the middle of it. I felt a blast that knocked me off my feet. I didn't know I was on fire at first. Everybody else had done evacuated the rig, basically left me in the fire. Only exit that they had other than jumping over the handrails was about 15 yards away from where I was standing, that I had to walk through flames. Looked around, found my exit, and took off. I ended up being burned over 60% of my body. The doctors were telling my family that they didn't expect me to live for the next 2 weeks, that they needed to start making funeral arrangements. Sure enough, I did prove them wrong, though. I am way too stubborn to die.
From the second I met Victor, I knew this guy is the reason that I went to law school. Victor is probably the toughest hombre I've ever represented. He is a former United States Marine. He's a former recon sniper. He got out of the Marine Corps and went into one of the toughest professions you can have, which is being a roughneck. And not only did he do that, he was good at it. On top of that, he has one of the most tragic accidents that a worker can have. He has burns to his face, to his torso, to his limbs, and he comes through it as best as anybody could ever expect. He never gave up, and there were times when he wanted to.
They basically stripped me everywhere where I wasn't completely burned, and put it in all the areas where I was burned. They had to scrub and scrape and cut all the skin off of me where I had endured the most burn. I don't wish this pain on my worst enemy. Being burned is the worst thing that could ever happen to a person. It's horrible. You deal with it the rest of your life. I can't be in the sun too much because my skin can't release heat now. I can only sweat on 40% of my body. I have to be in a place that's completely air conditioned. If I'm not, then I have to watch my limits. My hands, if I don't use them, they'll draw up and constrict. My skin, I have to constantly keep lotioned because it won't oil itself no more. It hinders you completely. You go from living a life at 100% down to 30%. I was worried about how I was going to make it, who I was going to turn to, what I was going to do. Doug coming into my life was by far one of the best things that's happened in a long time.
Victor's case had been turned down by one or maybe two other law firms. It was a situation where the companies were trying to protect themselves, and so we had to chase down every single one of them. We took depositions all over the country. We got on planes. We flew everywhere. We met with experts. We did our homework, and we got very good results for Victor. And that's what I'm most proud of.
I owe Doug more than I could say I owe anybody else. He was there when nobody else was. He made sure I didn't get just thrown out and left out to dry. I guess you could say he's that voice that speaks up for those and knows how to speak for the people who don't.
It's never the decision makers that suffer the injury. It's normally some poor innocent guy that ultimately ends up paying the price. I have a ton of respect for that man. He has been through hell and back, and there's just not many people like him. He's a tough guy.
I'm looking forward to re-education, to owning my own business. I can't see sitting there and just collecting something like a lot of other people do. I feel like I've got to earn it. You got to earn your way. No matter how bad it got, I won't quit. You can't quit, because if you quit, it means you just give up. Nobody likes a quitter.